Hello everybody and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, and in this video we are going to finally be starting our career. We're going to see if we can jump straight into taking the exam for our PPL, seeing what that looks like, seeing if we've learned enough in the previous flight simulation versions to just go right straight through it. I'm also going to be talking about a couple tips and tricks you guys can do to make things a bit harder if you choose, so stick around. If you are interested in acquiring any of my Overkills tutorial guides from Microsoft Flight Simulator, or simply interested in supporting the channel, please consider joining us on Patreon. Patreon subscribers level tier 2 and above have access to all of my guides, as well as any future releases that come down the road. Patreon link can be found in the description below.
Overkill simulations, watch us as we fly.
All right, guys, so as I said, we're going to be starting our career. I haven't tried it yet. I decided, you know what, let's go ahead and go for it. But one of the things that I did see watching other people's videos was that you can go through all the different training sequences and things like that, or you can just, it looks like, from what I can tell, it looks like you can just go straight to going for your PPL in the sim. And so that's what we're going to do, is see whatever the practical test, I believe, is. So we're going to go for that. We're going to see what happens and see if we've learned enough. The other thing that I saw is that there is a way to enable and disable the help gates. So I'm going to try it on the hardest version by disabling the help gates as soon as we get in there. And then we're going to go for our flight. So first thing that we're going to do is obviously set our career. So we're going to walk through the steps here. I believe you have to choose a starting location. Whoa. Oh yeah, we've seen all this before in the startups. That's definitely the one that I want to go with. I want to be a fire attacker, get the initial attack card. Now let's see here. Usually I would say start in Tucson. That's my hometown. However, I think you are limited to where you can actually start. What is that? It looks like a heliport. I think if they're grayed out, the answer is a no. Which is interesting that Tucson International is grayed out, because there's actually a flight school right here. And I think there's another one over here by the old tower, which is now the executive terminal. But I know there's at least two of them. My dad got his pilot's license from the one right here on the west side of the airport. So let's see here. That's interesting that they don't have everything, but you know, is what it is. So let's see what we got. What are our options? Flying Diamond. That is not in Tucson. And that's a dirt runway. That is absolutely not Tucson. Like you can see there's Sarita, or Sawarita if you want to say it correctly. So let's see what our options are for home. Taylor Field, I've never even heard about. It's in Marana. Avar Valley should have another airport of its own. So they're missing a bunch here. Pinal Air Park. This is now a storage and conversion yard for a lot of commercial airliners. That's why you're seeing those commercial airliners here. A lot of them will either A, be stored here to be sold off later. A lot of them will be converted to cargo aircraft. But again, Arizona is a very popular area for the storage area. We have Davis-Monthan Air Force Base out here, and right next to it is AMARG, which is the largest aircraft storage yard in the world. That's all of this right here. And then all of this over here. So yeah, it's also referred to as the Boneyard, but it's not really a good description of what it is. It's pretty inaccurate, actually. Because it's not really a boneyard. There is a dismantling yard where they strip down any of the goods and stuff from it, but for the most part, it's just a storage yard. A lot of the aircraft are mothballed and can be back up and flying within anywhere from 48 to 72 hours, depending on the condition and what the situation calls for. It's actually pretty impressive operation. So let's see, where do we want? I guess we'll go to Oro Valley. I saw something there. Yep, there is one in Oro Valley. Oro Valley is it's a town of its own just north of Tucson, but like it's you know, it's basically a part of it. Like this is all Tucson, and then you would come up this way into Oro Valley. So it's like I could get there from my house in about 35 minutes. Let's see here. So where is it? I was gonna say I saw one. There it is, La Cholla Air Park. All right, fine. That's where we're gonna start. La Cholla Air Park. Maybe. Yes? No? Okay, there we go. And we're also going to be flying in the Pimax Crystal Light today. It should be a lot of fun. VR is the best way to experience any kind of flight simulation. I'm telling you, it's absolutely phenomenal. And right now, in my personal opinion, the Pimax Crystal Light is absolutely the best VR headset for the general consumer market. Yes, it's more expensive than things like the Quest 3, but it is far superior performance. You're going to get far superior visualization and just an overall better experience, in my opinion. And if you guys are interested in checking out the Pimax, make sure you guys use the link down in the description. It helps both you and I. And yes, a little shameful plug there. But keep in mind, I've been a Pimax user since their initial conception. And the first Pimax that was ever given to me was the Pimax Crystal. And I have purchased and owned every single version Pimax has released. And I've also used Oculus Rift, the CV1, the Rift S. I've used the Varo Aero. So it's not like that's the only one I've used.
Hello there. You must be Overkill Sims, right?
That's me. That's my name, Overkill Sims.
Welcome to La Cholla Air Park.
Well,
I'm Tex.
At least you
the
got it
owner of
right.
this airport.
I wasn't expecting him to say it right.
Here at the club, we provide all the training lessons you need to get started and earn your private pilot license.
Cool.
Then, once you've earned your PPL, you can build up your flight hours and get more experience by taking people out on first flights.
Groovy.
But before any of that, let's head outside and take a flight to get familiar with our aircraft and the local surroundings.
Okay, what are we doing here? Oh, this must be like a discovery flight. We'll probably stay out of VR for this part, depending
Welcome
on
to the apron.
depending what
This
they
is
have
where
us
all
do.
our flying adventures begin. Why don't you walk around a bit while I finish the pre-flight preparations?
No. Move around. Yeah, this is just showing you how to get around things. Okay.
Today we will be flying in a Cessna 172 Skyhawk. It's the main trainer airplane in our flight school. Our Cessna's got a glass cockpit
Ah,
and
damn
a
it, using the
180 horsepower
G1000.
engine.
I didn't want the
Climbs well
G1000.
and is easy to fly. It's one sweet ride. I'm ready if you are, so hop in and buckle up.
Don't tell me
Let
what
the
to
good
do.
times roll. Welcome aboard. While you settle in, let's go over our flight plan. After taking off, we will climb to 4,500 feet above sea level, and then fly over the airport to enjoy the view. Ready? Why don't you start the engine for us?
Are you going to actually let me start it correctly? Or let's see here. Just setting it. Picking my SPAD profile. Making sure that we have access to all of our controls here. I absolutely prefer SPAD.next. I'm going to be blunt. Initially I was excited for the new control scheme inside of 2024. And then the more I used it, the more I hated it. It's bad. Anyway, so let's see here. One of the things I wanted to show you guys that I thought was kind of cool that I did find and I already set up. Let's go down to my stick. There it is. And search by input. What? Dude, I did this last night. No way. Okay, so visual assistance toggle. Yep. I don't know why that didn't save. That kind of sucks. That's annoying. But anyway, so oh, you know what? I might be on the wrong profile though. I didn't see how to change profile. Anyway, so this one you can disable and enable the help gates. So let me set that again, just since it didn't take clearly. Oh, duplicate profile. Yeah, see? All right, hang on a second. Let me... Visual ass. I just realized what I typed. Sorry. All right, let's do this real quick. I haven't figured out... Where do you find... All right, so if I'm on this... Where do I change the profile? I don't want to change aircraft. I just wanted to change the profile for this device. Am I tripping? Hardware settings? That's not going to be right. No, yeah, so I thought. That's just your tuning. That just highlights the aircraft. See, yeah, I hate this thing, dude. My new general profile. Specific 172 control, specific airplane control. Yeah, okay, whatever. All right, so let's go back to this. This is why I don't like it. Visual assistance. All right, I saved it. Cool, whatever. Let's go back. So I guess we're done. That was the big one that I wanted you guys to see. Is because you guys can see there's the help gates that we'll see when we get up and moving. Now let's go ahead and start the aircraft. See, they want us to do a Control E. That's so freaking lame. And that's what like upsets me right out of the gate already. This. I knew that's what I saw.
Perfect. The wind is from 272 degrees
like, dude,
direction,
how are you
with
going to say
speed of
this is a
9
training
knots.
program?
So we'll be taking off from runway
Like,
19.
this is basic stuff. I mean, I get it.
Okay,
I'm normally
let me
terrible
taxi
about
to
this
the runway.
crap, but about remembering to start my stuff and whatnot. Okay. He's taxiing to the runway. Groovy. Oh, there was another one I needed to map that I just thought about. Somebody had said something about radio commands that you needed to... We'll look at that after this portion. I remember watching someone else do this part, so...
Alright, now comes the fun part. After releasing the brakes and applying full power, we will speed up and take off once we reach 60 knots airspeed. We will be climbing at 75
You know what's funny about that
knots,
is like
which is the
most
recommended
single
climbing
engine
speed for the Cessna
aircraft,
Skyhawk.
single
While
engine
climbing,
general
we will
aviation
follow
aircraft
a
don't
left-hand
actually
traffic
have a
pattern
rotate
and
speed.
make 2 turns.
It's more or less when they're
Don't
ready
worry
to
if it
fly.
sounds overwhelming. I am here to help. Release the parking brakes, otherwise we're
So
not
60
going
knots,
anywhere.
55 knots, things like that, they're a good target, but they're not actually, it's not usually correct. Okay, so he already set up all the switches and everything like that. Okay, whatever, groovy. Parking brake
Good.
released.
Ready for takeoff? Apply full power to get us moving.
Yes, sir.
You handle the yoke, and I'll take care of the pedals, steering the aircraft on the runway during takeoff.
Hang on a second, we have a problem here. Why is the parking brake triggered? Douche. Anyways, there we go. Speed live, there's 50 knots.
We have
55 knots he had for rotate.
Pull the yoke a little bit to lift off.
They want us to climb at 75 knots. Let's pitch for 75. Maintaining heading.
Perfect climbing attitude and speed. I see you know what you're doing.
Thanks, Chief.
We are approaching our first turn. As you'll see, the Cessna 172 requires very little yoke movement to turn.
So there's the gates.
We are 300 feet above the ground. I will retract the flaps.
Thanks,
You
Chief.
keep climbing. You can start turning left.
Keep pitching for 75. Start turning left, he said. We're about 30 degrees of bank. Alright, so we are back
300
from
feet
a
above the
crash.
ground. I will
Sim
retract
crash.
the flaps. You keep climbing. You can start turning left.
So for this one, we're keeping the gates on just so I can sort of get an idea of how it works.
Aren't they?
Wow. That was deep. I'm such
There
a
we
pain
are,
in the ass.
4,400 feet above sea level and 500 feet above the traffic pattern. We have safe separation with the other airplanes. Look around, see our airport? Let's fly over it.
Alright, he hasn't told me to pull power off, so I'm going to. See, there's the things that I'm sort of curious about, like This is supposed to be the discovery flight.
Excellent.
You know what I mean?
I know that you're busy navigating and controlling the plane, but don't forget to enjoy the view.
I've seen the view. I'm fine. Although it does look good in the sim. Well, I feel like some of my settings are kind of garbage. I'm gonna check something real quick. Let's global rendering. Let's take a look. I guess everything's up. Okay. Guess we're good. Clouds looked a little weak to me, but that's alright.
All done. I believe you have a talent for piloting. I hope you enjoyed the flight. Let's head back to the ground now.
Wow, that's lame, guys. I was hoping
I'm glad
for more,
that we
man.
flew together today. This might be the first chapter in your pilot's journey, if you want to embark on it.
We'll see, but
Let's catch up at our headquarters.
We'll see what the PPL exam does. I think that's what's next. I know they make you do the introductory flight, so
You seem comfortable out there.
let's see
I'm
if we
sure
can.
you'll get your PPL in no time.
I think I'm going to get my PPL in no time too, because I don't think you're going to make me do very much. All right, so yep, here's our certification. Remember this?
Here you can see
Saw
all
this.
the different certifications you can pass.
Yep.
Your first
I
step,
remember that. So we obviously need our PPL.
all the training lessons you'll need to pass the PPL exam are available
Yep.
here.
Okay. So you have all the lessons down here on the left. Pitch, turn, rolls, power settings, maneuver tests, pre-flight, landing, yoke management, focus on operating yoke for landing. Yep. Okay. Focus on throttle for smooth approach. I mean, there's a lot to it. That is a lot to it. But I want to see what happens. I want to see what happens. So you start out with 5,000 credits. So I'm going to go for it, man. Prerequisite for specializations. Okay, let's do this. Here we go. We're going to try it. I want to see what it hits us with. Time to pass your pilot's license. This is your ticket into the aviation world. For this practical test, you will need to complete a standard traffic pattern, follow the flight plan, apply what you've learned in your training, fly safely, and you'll get your license. Traffic patterns are generally flown at 1,000 feet AGL, yep, as opposed to MSL, yep. Each section of the traffic pattern is referred to as a leg. That's it. Okay. To pass your license, you will have to start your aircraft and taxi towards a designated runway with intermediate stop at the hold short. Align with the runway and take off once you have reached a speed of 55 knots indicated airspeed. Climb upwind at 75 knots until you reach the crosswind leg. Once in the crosswind leg, climb to 1,000 feet AGL and maintaining 75 knots. Turn left and maintain 1,000 feet. Throughout the downwind leg, do not exceed 90 knots. Good to know. Okay. Once abeam the touchdown point, fly at 80 knots. Okay. Extend 10 degrees of flaps, push the nose down into a descent. Turn left on the base leg pattern, slowing to 75 knots, extend 20 flaps. Turn towards the final approach and maintain glide slope at 65 knots. Perform a smooth landing. Standard ATC interactions are expected to be performed during your test. You will need clearance to taxi and takeoff and landing. To maintain automatic control of your aircraft, avoid damaging. Remember not to overspeed your flaps. Full deployment under 85 knots. Not to overspeed your airframe. Always stay below 163 knots. Man, you'd have to like shove that thing into a dive. Okay. Aircraft recommended speeds are stored in your EFB. A beam, key aviation term referring to the object fixed 90 degrees. Yep. All right. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. All right, that's good. There was one other control we want to look for. That was that ATC interaction. I think it's enter by default. So we're going to try to see if we can't avoid that. Ouch. I cut my finger today cutting up potatoes. I keep picking at it. Alright, so let's look for that. So that way you guys can see that as well. But I really don't think this is going to be a
It's
big
time.
deal. I really don't.
Your first ever check ride.
So let's walk through this. Let's go into our settings. And we're going to go to controls again. Look for the keyboard. Search by input. And I'm going to press enter. There. Quick reply. I think that's the one right there. So, let's go down to my stick again. Where is it? Where audio? There you are. Okay. And my apologies, guys. What was it? Quick reply, right? There it is. Fire that bad boy and push a button. What do you mean wrong device? No, it's not. No, it's not. Oh, yes it is. Yes it is. I am sorry. You were 100% correct. I don't care what the name is. I don't use your damn controls anyway. And I'll remap that to SPAD at some point. I just don't feel like doing it right now. Okay, so now we'll resume.
Start by removing the covers and chocks. Then join me inside.
We'll do the covers and chocks like being requested. And then we will switch over into the Pimax crystal for this one. So that way I can have clear visualization of my navigation points. Alright, all covers, chocks. And like they didn't even make you go through the pre-flight, you know? Checking your services, blah, blah. Just remove chocks and wheel covers. Like, whatever. Okay, fine. I just feel like they could have added more to this. And, you know, it just... I don't know. That's just my thoughts. I'm really trying not to be pissy about this. And I'm hoping the career mode is more fun. Alright, guys. Let me switch over into the Pimax Crystal Light. And we'll get rolling again. Alright, so we are now in the Pimax Crystal Light. Let's get rolling. Let's see here. Let's make sure we have everything mapped. There's that. Throttle correct. Tanks to both. Beacon light on. Nav light on. Batteries. Clear prop.
Your goal is to complete a
engine
left-hand
start.
traffic pattern, respecting the flight path and all required speeds. Rely on what you have learned in your trainings, and you'll be fine. Now, show me the best traffic pattern that you've got.
Don't tell me what to do. How many times do I have to tell you that? Parking brake released. Now they said, yeah, I was going to say.
57 Alpha Zulu traffic Cessna November 12682 is taxiing to runway 19er.
Behind a minivan. Okay, now it's going to take off.
57 Alpha Zulu traffic Cessna November 12682 taking off runway 19er left closed traffic.
And look, there's... God, I get so tired of the ground traffic. Look at this. Is this a runway or a racetrack? Damn it. Sorry, guys. Alright, well, we're lined up. Let's roll. Airspeed alive. $50 knots. 55 knots rotating. Pitching for 75. Trending for the crosswind. looking for 3,900 feet. Little low coming into the downwind. Not to exceed 90 knots. Waiting for us to be abeam the touchdown point. Damn it, come on, come down. Beam the touchdown point. Flaps 10 degrees.
Five 7 Alpha Zulu traffic Cessna November 12682, 2 miles east 3,900 feet inbound to land runway 19er.
75 knots. Flaps 20. Trying to maintain about 500 feet per minute. Looking for 60 knots.
57 Alpha Zulu traffic Cessna November 12682 is on final runway 19er to land.
Touchdown point in sight. Full flaps deployed. Crossing the threshold, throttle to idle. Minivan in the road. I don't know what hold short line they're wanting us to use. So I guess I'll just exit the damn runway.
Five 7 Alpha Zulu traffic Cessna November 12682 is taxiing to parking.
Still haven't fixed the rudder control on this thing. The nose wheel steering is just as crappy as it was in 2020. Sorry guys, I've had a cough all day. It's driving me crazy. Alright, I'm trying to make sure that we don't overspeed in taxiway here. So, I mean, the landing practice was cool. The pattern work was cool. The gates, I could see, were helpful, you know, especially if you're learning. But if this was it, like, I really hope there's further courses that they're going to ask you to do here, because if this was it, it's lacking. I think they could have put a lot more effort into the training into the requirements to complete your PPL. So I'm really hoping there's something after this, but I mean, like there could have been some navigation requirements across country. You know, there's things they could have done to make this a bit better. But I think I heard there's only one mission that you have to do. There's the one flight for your PPL, so we'll see, I guess. I really wish they would fix the G1000 VR performance. So I can read everything. It's still a little blurry, and there are things that you can do, but the problem is that the G1000, even in 2020, was never optimized for VR. That's why the analog gauges, like all the analog gauges here, the Steam gauges, I can read clear as day. And actually, why everything in VR on the G1000s are hard to read. They were never optimized for VR, even after the 4 years of operation of the sim. That's kind of irritating. I mean, I can still see it. You know, like I can see the radio frequencies 113.9er and 110.5 for the nav. You know, I can see the 122975 on the COM1. Transponder is currently set to 1200. Like, you can read it. Even the MFD or the buttons, the buttons get a little tough. But like I can make out transponder, I can make out ADF, DME, the CDI. But it's just weird because, like, for example, all the light switches, beacon, you know, landing, taxi, nav, strobe, you know, I can read those easier than I can the G1000. Go. That's a cool little plane right there. That's a trainer. AT6, yeah, man. Parking brake set. Control Shift E. Shut up, man. Come on now.
Congratulations. You're on your way to become one hell of a pilot.
Is that really it, bro? Bro. Come on now. All right, let me get out of VR, guys. Okay, so respect the traffic pattern. Where did I miss? I got a C? 99%, 100, 100, 100, and 99% you give me a C? Give me a, how do you get a B? Like, okay. What the hell? How do you get 99% and wind up with a C? I don't even understand. Whatever. I don't care. Or is... I can't tell. Never mind. Did I get an A? Is that what I got? Okay. I think I got an A. I'm sorry. Disregard. C is just the passing point. I get it. All right. I'll calm down now. I was like, what the hell? Like, the math ain't mathing. All right. Well, he said you were on the way to becoming a pilot, so maybe there's more. Nope. There's not. All right, so that's it then. Powered lift rating. So let's see what we got. New aircraft flyable for missions. You can now fly a few new aircraft in missions. Cessna 172 Skyhawk. I think this is the analog version, which I will absolutely prefer. That would be awesome. 152. I'll definitely take the 172 over the 52, but still cool. All right. What do we got?
Congratulations on passing your PPL.
Yep, that was
exam.
it. That was
Hopefully
it.
That's the first of many steps on your career path. Your PPL allows you to fly recreationally and begin to build up your flight hours. First flight missions are a great way to increase your experience. Let's go back to headquarters and review the specializations board to learn more.
Okay.
As you can see, the career journey of a pilot can take many
Allowing you to
different paths.
recreation fly, perform
As I
first
said
flight
earlier,
missions, taking people
your
to turns.
PPL,
Yeah,
as you
whatever.
build up your flight hours and earn more certifications, other specializations will become available.
Sorry, guys, still fighting this cough still. Okay, well, I mean, is what it is, right? I want my 172 Skyhawk, baby. All right, so what if you wanted to go into rotor? Prerequisite level 3. That's what it is right there. Okay, all right, fair enough. Airplanes it is. So back to HQ, I guess. Oh, missions. There we go. All right.
On this map, you can see all the missions currently available to you. There's one mission currently available. Select it now.
Okay. Okay. AZ, Rail 57AZ, 132 in the afternoon. Oh, that's going to be a bumpy flight. 132 in the afternoon. 74 nautical miles. Winds 59 degrees Fahrenheit. Huh. Interesting. All right, guys. Well, this is going to be our next video. We'll do this one in the next video, but that's it. That's all you got to do to get the PPL and get rolling on your career. So if you guys haven't tried it out, at the very least, jump into it. I would say that if you want to, go through the training, if that's something that's fun to you, but you guys saw what it is. It really doesn't require much. I would have liked to have seen more. I would like to have seen more requirement. I would have liked to have seen more activity, pre-flight, walking around the aircraft. The biggest thing that they were boasting about this was that that walk around feature was one of the key points. It was one of the more exciting points. So it would have been nice if they took advantage of that in their PPL training. It would have been nice to be having to check the elevator and aileron controls and check your tires and check the fuel and oil, do a fuel drop, but it is what it is. But at least we're up and moving now, so now we can get into the missions and start building up some experience and hopefully start kicking some tail and soon burn out some fires. So as always, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Watch for the next one where we start doing some missions and getting some experience and hopefully move on with our certifications. Happy Thanksgiving once again, you guys, and once again, thank you very, very much for all the support and love I've received over the years. Look forward to another great one in 2025, and I'll see you in the next one.